What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for August 4th, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a steamy Sunday edition of the podcast. Might as well get right into it. Phils, stop me if you heard this, lost again, this time in 10 innings after blowing a 5-0 lead. Jeff Hoffman was not good. Bryce finally got a hit, so I guess maybe they're starting to turn it around, but I just don't know. I think at this point, I'm torn here because I know what I'm seeing, and this team is not playing well. This team is not getting it done, both pitching and hitting. Yesterday, I asked you the question of the day. 62% of you said it was the hitting was the bigger issue, but yesterday was the pitching. You score 5 runs, you have to feel pretty good about that, and it just wasn't enough. But then at the same time, the offense could have scored more. It's just, they're a mess right now, and that's what I'm seeing. However, I'm seeing things that might indicate that they're ready to turn it around. They're actually scoring runs now. For the most part, everybody but Hoffman was solid. Maybe, just maybe, this is rock bottom, so to speak, and we can just go up from here. Luckily, the Braves lost, so it's still a 5-game lead. But maybe, just maybe, they're turning around. If they get swept again, then I'm going to be concerned. But it's just, it's frustrating, and it's hard as a Philly fan to not start having those doubts creep in. As I mentioned yesterday, all 4 teams over the course of the past calendar year have had epic collapses in one way or another, whether it's the Sixers when Joe went down, the Flyers blowing solidly in the playoffs to not being in, the Phillies in the NLCS, and then the Eagles down the stretch. It's just, it's hard to not feel that way. And obviously we are very emotional as Philly fans, and I don't know, it's hard to, I always try to pride myself on the fact that I don't think emotionally. You take a deep breath and think about it logically, but even logically right now, they're not playing well. And you can see the signs that they're close, but I don't know because we're getting to the point now where they're feeling it. They're absolutely feeling it. JT said we're just not playing well, and we're trying, and it could be a case of some bad luck here or there, like the other day with the bad pitch for the grand slam, and then with Sanchez. Then there was the even last night, the should have been a strike that would have gotten them out of that inning where the winning run would not have been walked in, and he could have gone to the 11th inning. So maybe we're playing our way out of it, and we're going to be there. And I apologize if it's inconsistent. I feel like my take on this is as inconsistent as the Phillies have been playing. I don't know. I very much am concerned. I'm seeing a lot of stats. I've mentioned John Foley before. He's been putting stats up on his Twitter. The Phillies have gone to the World Series with stretches similar to this. He posted other similar stretches to other teams that have gone and won the World Series. But it's hard to balance that emotion with logic. Logically, you can see, all right, they're starting to kind of work their way out of it, but they're not winning, and that is extremely frustrating. And then that doubt from the Eagles and the Phillies last year, Sixers, Flyers, it all starts creeping in. And even more so if you go back a couple years, this has been the MO of all Philly teams. Go back to the Union, go back to the World Series, the Super Bowl, all of that. We were in position to do well. Phillies had a lead in that World Series. The Eagles had a lead at halftime, double digits in that Super Bowl. The Union lost on penalty kicks. It's just, and that's not even bringing the Sixers into to play here with all of their disappointments and collapses. And I don't know. I want to believe that this is starting to turn around, but again, even logically, I know what I'm seeing. and they just haven't been getting the job done. So maybe today's the day. Zach Wheeler on the mound, second chance to be the stopper here and turn things around heading into the Dodgers series, who haven't necessarily been playing great themselves. But, oh, man, it's bad. But thank you for participating in the question of the day yesterday. And the question of the day today is, will the Phillies turn it around? Do you see enough to make you believe that they can turn it around? I want to believe it. I'm not sure if my head is letting me believe that, though. So get your answer in 267-495-8531. That's a Back to the Future voice and text line. You can also hit me up on social media, Jimbo_Mont, Twitter and TikTok. At Philly Jimbo on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, even if you're listening to this on a podcast. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave a review, all that other good stuff. Subscribe. All of that helps the podcast out. But do you think the Phillies are going to turn this around? Last week I said absolutely. I'm not so sure now. And maybe it's the PTSD from the past 2-3 years with the Philly teams. I'm not sure. And I'm usually the guy wearing the red glasses, drinking the green Kool-Aid, all that other good stuff. I just don't know right now. Maybe you can help talk me off the ledge. I'm ready to jump. I don't know. But will they turn it around? That is today's question of the day. Zach Wheeler on the mound this afternoon as the Phillies look to salvage a game, end the losing streak, and not get swept back-to-back series. The good thing is nobody really in the National League is stepping up to take charge. Phillies still have the best record in the National League somehow, and that's a testament to how well they played. They need to get back there. Will they? Let me know. I want to believe, but I'm having a hard time right now. So maybe talk me off the ledge or commiserate with me. Get your answer in for the question of the day on the Back to the Future voice and text line, and then just vent. We'll call this get it off your chest Sunday. Just let it all out. Get the negativity, the negative vibes, everything out on the Back to the Future voice and text line. And let's hope that Zach Wheeler can get it back together and be the ace that we need him to be. And 100% at this point, I'm seeing people starting to get on Rob Thompson. It is not Rob Thompson. And John Middleton even said, look, we did what we needed to do at the trade deadline. We got a right-handed bat for the outfield. We improved the bullpen, and which truthfully they did. The guys that they deleted from the bullpen, the guys they brought in, those are upgrade moves. But now it's up to the players to actually perform. It's nice to see Bryce get a hit. Hopefully he can keep that momentum going. And again, luckily for us, the Braves lost too, so there's still a 5-game lead in the division. But will they snap out of it? God, I hope so. Be sure to check out my boys at the Clashing Conferences podcast. I'm sure they're talking all about this. That's available wherever you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. And then go to Philly Goat. I told you it is back to school time. Just go check out their site. They have a ton of stuff for your kids. Buy yourself something too. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. All one word. That also helps out the podcast. So even though the teams aren't doing well, maybe we can grow this thing. All right, Union in action tonight against Cruz Azul in the Leagues Cup. They're actually moving on to the round knockout stage, and they're basically playing for seeding right now. And it should be a decent game. You should be able to watch it. I think it's on FS1. Phillies should be over by then. Hopefully we're celebrating a Phillies win. But Cruz Azul, they need to win by a goal in order to move out of the pool play. So it should be a solid game. Like I said, the Union are playing for seeding. We'll actually be going down courtesy of Penn. My wife was able to get box seats for the Penn box. So we're going down, and hopefully the kids are going to see their first soccer game. Hopefully it's a good one. But the Union in action tonight at 8 against Cruz Azul in the Leagues Cup. Again, they're playing for seeding. They've been relatively hot lately, so hopefully they can keep that momentum going. just in time to let us down, like every team in Philly seems to let us down. And sorry, I'm not my normal positive self today. I'm just frustrated. And again, I mentioned this yesterday, but if you are a Philadelphia sports fan who was not born in the Philadelphia area, hit me up because I want to hear your story, because we were born into this. We didn't choose this. This life chose us. You're choosing to suffer through this. I want to know and get your thoughts on why. But like I said, we didn't choose this life. This life chose us. Thanks a lot, Mom and Dad. I guess for me, it goes back way longer than that. I've done some ancestry work. So my family has been here in this area long before sports were even a thing. So I guess it's just in my DNA, literally. But let me know if you are a Philly fan who is not from here. I want to hear your story. I want to interview you, get you on the podcast, and I don't know. And anybody else out there, whatever you got to do, wear your underwear inside out, put your rally caps on. We need to do something to break this. I don't know what it is, but something needs to be done. Some Sixers news. First, Tyrese Maxey is looking jacked. I don't know. I've seen a couple videos of him. I saw him at a camp. I saw him, I forget where else I saw. Oh, like at his introductory press conference. He's jacked, and apparently he's been putting in some work this offseason, which I like to see. So much so that he did get tested for steroids because of how jacked he looked. Obviously, he came back negative, but kudos to Tyrese for putting in that work and getting ready for the season. Basically, he got tested because of all the social media content from his introductory or the contract extension press conference. And he even acknowledged it. He was like, y'all made me get tested for roids. Joe played 22 minutes yesterday in the United States win over Puerto Rico. Scored 15 points on 5 for 10 shooting, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Looked more like the Joe we've come accustomed to seeing, which is good. Hopefully that means he's coming into camp in shape, ready to go, hit the ground running. And now with the way the rotations are going to be set up, again, I'm not expecting much because of I'm just a Negadelphia Philly fan today. And I know I talked a lot when I started this podcast about hashtag new Philly. I'm feeling very old Philly today. But Joe looked good in the Olympics against Puerto Rico. So we'll see where that goes. Eagles were off yesterday. They're back in practice today. They're practicing as we speak. Coming at you a little bit later today, just due to some things we had going on here. Some unexpected house guests due to flight delays and things like that. So was being a good host. So we're coming at you a little later, but they are practicing as we speak, getting ready for the preseason opener on Friday. Still no word whether the starters will play. I have a feeling, based on the way camp has been going, it's going to go back to the old school way where the starters will at least get a series or two. But we'll continue to cover the Eagles as we get ready for the preseason opener on Friday against the Ravens. All right, today we're going to go back to 1947. And on this day in 1947, there was a big boxing match in Philadelphia. And long before there was Ali Frazier, Balboa Creed, the OG Philly boxing rivalry was Williams Montgomery, no relation, Ike Williams, who was from Trenton, and Bob Montgomery, who was a Philly native via South Carolina, very similar to Joe Frazier. They hated each other. They absolutely hated each other. They only had 2 fights. First fight took place in 1944. And Ike Williams, it was more of a grudge match. So Ike Williams had beat Johnny Hutchinson up pretty bad, who was a North Philadelphia lightweight and was pretty good. And he beat him up pretty good. He was older. So Bob Montgomery took offense to this because he was a friend, Philadelphia guy, very good friend, and wanted to fight Ike Williams and destroy him. So he said, I'm going to avenge the beating that you put on. He was an older fighter. You took advantage of him, blah, 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 blah. Typical boxing stuff, even back in the 40s. Well, Montgomery did beat Williams in that first fight, 12th round knockout down at Convention Hall. So the much anticipated rematch took place. And in the meantime, in between fights, Montgomery was the New York State Athletic Commission lightweight champ, Williams was the National Boxing Association lightweight champ. So this was a unification bout that took place on this day in 1947 at Convention Hall. Montgomery was still looking for more revenge against Williams. Williams was looking to avenge the loss. Obviously, it had that big fight feel because it was a unification match. Montgomery Williams 2 took place, like I said, at Convention Hall. It was a brutal fight, but Williams did get his revenge on Bobcat Montgomery. 6-round TKO to become the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Both of these fighters are in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. There was no third fight, but on this day, the OG boxing rivalry in Philadelphia, the second fight took place between Ike Williams and Bobcat Bob Montgomery, with Ike Williams coming out on top, unifying the lightweight championship of the world. But both fighters had very good careers. But again, this was the first big Philly boxing rivalry. I'm sure there was a ton of other little rivalries within the city, but this one was big time on a national scale. Would have been pay-per-view, top-ranked boxing, HBO, whatever, had it been 40 years later. But on this day in 1947, Ike Williams beat Bobcat Montgomery to unify the light heavyweight champion of the world, both with Philadelphia area ties, and it was a brutal fight. But both boxers, like I said, are in the Hall of Fame, and they put on two great hard-hitting fights. Okay, finally today, our Philly Olympic Spotlight. We're going to spotlight Ivan Puskovitch. He's from Westchester, another Episcopal Academy guy, and he is an open water swimmer. He went to school in West Virginia, and he's the first swimmer or diver from West Virginia to qualify for the Olympics, and is only the fifth male ever to qualify for the U.S. open water swim team. I guess most of the swimmers here in the United States do the traditional Olympic swimming in the pool. But I will tell you, as somebody who competed in a triathlon, swam in the Schuylkill, yes, I know, I haven't been right since, but open water swimming is much tougher than swimming in a traditional Olympic pool. But he is ready to go. Ivan competes in the 10-kilometer, which is considered marathon swimming, and 10K is roughly like 6.2 miles or so. That takes place on August 9th at 1:30 a.m. for you night owls out there who wants to watch Ivan Puskovitch compete for gold in the the Olympic marathon swimming, it's called. But Ivan, go out, make Chester County and Episcopal Academy proud. Get a medal out there. Be safe. But Ivan Puskovitch is today's Philly Olympic Spotlight athlete of the day. Westchester native, Episcopal Academy grad, West Virginia. First guy to ever make a swim team or make the Olympics from the West Virginia swim team. And he's going for gold August 9th at 1:30 a.m. So for all you night owls out there, I might record that. I'm not going to be up at 1:30. Just the thought of that makes me tired. On this day in 1947, Ike Williams beat Philadelphia's Bobcat Montgomery to unify the lightweight championship of the world at Convention Hall. 6-round TKO, and they had a fierce rivalry that was very deep-rooted and personal, which kind of you have to like that in boxing and combat sports when it's like a personal thing. It's not like we're doing this for the sport. Like it's I hate you and I'm going to try to rip your head off. But that happened on this day in 1947. Good luck to the Union tonight. Hopefully me and the kids and the wife will be able to bring them some good luck as they're playing for seeding against Cruz Azul. I don't even know what to say about the Phillies. Will they do it? I don't know. Be sure to answer the question of the day. Do you think they'll turn it around? 267-495-8531. That's the Back to the Future voice and text line. Talk me off the ledge, please. Vent, whatever you got to do, or just commiserate with me. Just be miserable with me. But come on, Zach. If not now, when? This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for August 4th, 2024. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Sunday. Wear your rally stuff, pajamas inside out, underwear inside out. I don't care what you do. Get your lucky rabbit's foot. Pray to Joe Boo if you have to. I don't know. But we need to do something to turn this around. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.